All right, guys, I am back with another fixed blade. This is from Professor EDC. He loaned this one in, and this is a Brisa Necker 80 bobtail. I know, that just flows right off the tongue. But let's start with the sheath. Multi-function, not really function, multi-carry. So you can either carry it horizontally in a scout type of position, or you can, because your belt can go through this way, or you can put it this way, like a more traditional, away you go, right? So that's very cool. The sheath is made super good. I really like the sheath. And I noticed that when I first took it out of the box in my unboxing, just this smell of leather, you guys know that smell is just great. So this is a smaller, more utilitarian type of knife. And these are made in Finland, Brisa. And I'll put a link to their website down below if you want to go check them out. Their story is kind of cool. You can click on the About Me and hear their story. A couple of friends created it back in 1995-ish. And I think their first knife came out in, a year or so after that. So very cool. Scandinavian blade steel of 12C27. But yeah, it is small. And we'll go through the specs and the details and stuff. I kind of want to be into fixed blades, but I don't know what I would do with one. And that's why I struggle a little bit with fixed blade videos, because there's not much to show. It's just a knife. Now, this thing is great, and it cuts really well if I can get it started right. So this thing is super sharp. It is brand new, so it should be sharp, but it's just really a cardboard killer, which I know is what Professor EDC is going to use. He uses all of his fixed blades. He does a lot of gardening and yard landscaping and that sort of work. So I know he's going to use this and use it good. So some of the specs: 6 3/4 overall, 2.9 on the blade and 2.8 on the edge. We talked about the blade steel, 2.8 ounces for the knife itself, 5.1 altogether, right? Mustard micarta scales. I like this. I like the scales. They're pretty slick though. I would almost like a little, like they're super slick. I would almost like a little texturing. Although when your hand is on it, you're pretty well locked in. But if you had wet hands, you might be a little slippery here. Okay. That's something that I'm going to want to hear from Professor EDC later on, how that works in using it in the garden type of environment. Some brass pins. Now, what you will notice, this is a $68 knife, first off. So for $68 US, you're going to get a few imperfections. And really, the only thing I see is this back lanyard tube is not perfectly centered. It's a little deformed on this side. And again, over here, right? But it's $68. If it was $168 or $680, I would expect more out of it. So I'm okay with that. Full flat grind. Got a few marks on it now from the cardboard, which will wipe off. I'll get it all clean before I ship it to Professor. A little bit of marking, not a lot. So I do appreciate that. The fit and finish of the scales is really nice. It is super smooth. It kind of screams like it's more than a $68 knife, but I think it's the blade steel that brings it down. One thing that I don't like is it's got really a hard edge here on the edges of the crown, of the spine. I would have loved it if they had chamfered that off, maybe rounded the crowned the spine a little bit, because it is it's not really uncomfortable. It's not going to cut you or anything, but it is something that I noticed. Kind of a hard edge there. All right. So not much more to talk about. Here it is with a Sharpie. I do own a couple of fixed blades. So here it is with the Jim Skelton Mini Hellraiser. And just because we can, what else do I have here that's, I don't know. How about the North Arm Skaha, just to give you a folding knife also to compare to. So all in all, I think this is a cool knife. Brisa also does make a ton of different knives. Professor EDC sent me one more. I have a Skinner down under the table that I still need to film. I did a video a couple of years ago. I believe it was from Alex. The Brisa Enzo, about 2 years ago. It's a folding knife. So they make folders. They also sell materials. They sell the pins. They sell blank blades. They sell just different scales, different liners. So they are also a knife supply house. If you're making your own knives and you just need parts and pieces, you can also get it from them. So that's kind of cool as well. So let me know, guys. Are you a fixed blade person or are you not? I just, am I the one that's missing the boat because I don't own a ton of fixed blades? Let me know in the comments. Thanks, guys.